It's time for NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. The latest from the Wenatchee Valley and North Central Washington with Steve Hare, Grant Olson, and sports with Eric Granstrom.
Good Thursday evening and welcome to NCW Life News. I'm Grant Olson. Lots of foggy conditions outside in the North Central Washington area today. And let's take a look at why we see all that fog this time of year, especially in the valleys. Air cools at higher elevations as the ground radiates heat into the atmosphere. Cooler air then drains downslope into our valley. We have a cool, stable layer of air that forms near the ground, which pretty much limits the mixing and traps the cool, moist air below the clouds. And the air near the ground continues to cool until water vapor molecules are changed into small droplets of liquid water. And that's what we did see throughout the day today. A lot of folks thought it was snow, but it was actually freezing fog that was falling from the sky. We'll talk more about that coming up in weather. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A Foothills developer will host a meeting for community questions. We'll preview what the Wenatchee City Council is looking into tonight, and net neutrality, what it is and how could it affect you. But first, we begin tonight. Chelan County PUD General Manager Steve Wright is concerned over the slow pace of renegotiating a new Columbia River Treaty with Canada. He shared his thoughts on the matter in a recent interview with NCW Life News.
The Columbia River Treaty was a fabulous treaty put in place 60 years ago, provided a lot of benefit, led to the construction of dams up in Canada that allow us to control the flow of the river and produce more value in the United States. But the original terms of the treaty were anticipated that they would play out over 60 years and then the deal would be renegotiated. It's basically a commercial sale. And the world has not played out in the Northwest or Canada the way that it was anticipated, and the benefits that we are currently providing back to Canada in terms of power and energy and capacity are well in excess of the value that's derived from the operation of those dams. So we're overpaying, basically, on a treaty by a substantial margin, and we believe that needs to get fixed. The treaty anticipated this, fully anticipated it, included a provision in the treaty that gave each country the unilateral right to terminate on 10 years' notice, with the theory being that it is a commercial arrangement. Folks will re-argue the commercial terms at some point, and that should happen over a period of time. 10 years is a good period of time to negotiate. We'll put in place terms that make sense for both countries. We are really disappointed that it has taken way too long to even get to the table with the Canadians to initiate the negotiation, and we believe that the notice to terminate the power provisions of the treaty should be issued in order to set off the window, the clock, for making a decision within 10 years. 10 years is plenty of time to renegotiate the terms. So we have strongly urged the State Department to move forward on that basis. They recently have replaced the lead negotiator, which we think is a good thing. We're supportive of that, and we're hopeful that this new person will come in and show more willingness to move forward quickly than what we've seen in the past.
The long-term impacts of the treaty have been mixed. While the dams have provided enormous economic benefits to British Columbia and the U.S. Pacific Northwest through hydroelectric generation and flood control, there are long-standing concerns regarding social and economic impacts to the local communities and the environmental effects associated with the construction and operation of large dams. A developer who is looking to build in the Wenatchee foothills is hosting a public meeting on December 13th to answer any questions from the community. Developer Stephen Tramp is proposing an 18-home subdivision between the 1700 block of Skyline Drive and Old Butte. Tramp is also the owner of the Comfort Suites in Old Station. The community meeting will be from 6 to 7 p.m. at the Wenatchee Community Center located at 504 South Chelan Avenue. Should Confluence Health be taxed by the City of Wenatchee to help pay for street maintenance? The City Council takes that up at tonight's meeting. City staff proposes that Confluence be charged either a B&O tax or a payment in lieu of property tax for that purpose. The 45 acres under hospital ownership is currently exempt from property taxes. The city is about $1 million short of the $3 million it budgets annually for street upkeep. A public hearing on the proposal is set for tonight's meeting. It starts at 5:15 at City Hall. Governor Jay Inslee has sent a letter to the Federal Communications FCC urging rejection of the proposal to repeal net neutrality. The FCC is scheduled to vote December 14th on whether to repeal rules that ensure free flow of information over the internet.
We have freedom of speech in this nation, and we ought to have a principle of equal and unfettered access to the internet. This architecture of freedom and equal access has produced over 190,000 new jobs in my state, 9,000 businesses. We have allowed an innovative economy to flourish, and we have allowed a core value of this nation and my state to be preserved. So my state is going to continue down the road of protecting consumers and small businesses to their rights to equal access. We now are looking at the policies that my state, Washington State, can embrace to protect consumers, to protect small business, to protect this principle of equal access to the internet. And I will be producing a proposal on how to do that so that Washington State can maintain its destiny not only as an innovative state, but as one that understands the importance of net neutrality. Washington State's not done. We're going to do some good things to protect this principle.
The governor's letter highlighted how an open internet protects personal freedoms and creates economic opportunity by enabling innovative internet companies like Amazon, Zillow, and Expedia to create jobs and transform society. We will have more on net neutrality coming up a little later in our feature story. Coming up next, we'll preview the holiday ice show at the Town Toyota Center, the snowmobile safety class hosted by the Chelan County Sheriff's Office, and a Douglas County deputy retires. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching NCW Life News.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old, fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
Hi, I'm Cordell Schroeder, owner of East Wenatchee Mobile Storage.
If you're thinking about making a move anytime soon, check out the East Wenatchee Mini Storage brand new mobile storage service. They drop it off at your location, you pack it, and they pick it up and store it in their protected warehouse at East Wenatchee for as long as you need. When you're ready, they'll drop it off at your new home or office. East Wenatchee Mini Storage is excited to offer this brand new service to our region.
Call 509-884-8643 or find us on the web at ewministorage.com.
Antique Mall at Cashmere wishes you a happy and prosperous new year. With 15,000 square feet to explore, Antique Mall at Cashmere has something for everyone. For repurposing projects, do-it-yourselfers, and those with a keen eye for making something old, fresh, and new again, this is the place to find your next project. Antique Mall at Cashmere, their friendly staff is here to help you. Stop on by today.
Welcome back. The Wenatchee Figure Skating Club's annual Holiday Ice Show is this weekend at Town Toyota Center. This year's theme for the ice show is A Year of Cheer. On a recent episode of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, host Dan Kuntz talked to two of the three skaters in the event, Elizabeth Brazo and Shannon Salter, who said this year's ice show will be a little bit different than in the past.
It's a little bit new. Before we've done mostly Christmas, but this year we are going through the different holidays. So we start off with New Year's and go to Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, and we end with Christmas.
The skaters also said a lot of choreography and a ton of rehearsal time goes into putting on a show like this.
We're there every Thursday night and Sunday afternoon.
So a lot of work then.
Yes.
And then we have in our normal freestyle sessions, which are usually for practice, we have duets and trios and solos rehearsing. So the group numbers are on Thursday and Sunday, but then there's even more time that goes into rehearsing.
The Holiday Ice Show will have 3 performances this weekend at Town Toyota Center. On Saturday at 4:30 p.m. and on Sunday at both 2 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. Tickets can be purchased at the door on the days of the show or at the rink office at Town Toyota Center. A snowmobile safety training class is set for this weekend in the Lake Wenatchee area, even though there's not enough snow to ride. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office, in cooperation with the Washington State Parks and Recreation Commission and the Lake Wenatchee Recreation Club, is offering a free snowmobile safety certification class to young snowmobilers. Spokesman Rich Magnuson explains.
Unfortunately, due to lack of snow, the riding portion of the test we're not going to be able to complete, but we're still going to do our classroom portion of the test, and during that we'll cover basic snowmobile maintenance, survival skills, dealing with emergencies, including avalanche awareness, proper clothing when you're out riding, hand signals for riding and other basic skills, and then preparing for the ride, making sure you have all the right equipment, making sure your machine and everything's ready to go before you head out on the test or on the ride. And then the skills test, so parents that do send their kids to the class will give the parents a sign-off sheet for the riding skills test, and they'll be able to check their kids off once we do get some snow and they can take them out riding. They can actually sign their own kids off, and then send it back into the state, and they'll mail them their Safe Rider card.
The free class is designed for youth ages 12 to 16, but is open to new riders of all ages. The class is scheduled for 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. December 9th at the Lake Wenatchee Recreation Club, and the address is 14400 Chihuahua Loop Road in Leavenworth. Lunch will be provided for the participants by the Lake Wenatchee Rec Club. Well, the community of Bridgeport said goodbye Wednesday night to a longtime sheriff's deputy. A celebration was held last night at the Bridgeport City Council chambers for Deputy Gary Cooper. Cooper's hanging up his badge after serving for 32 years. Sheriff Harvey Jesdahl said he was pleased with the turnout and added that Cooper will be greatly missed. You're watching NCW Life News. Coming up next, your sports update, followed by today's feature story. That and much more still to come right here on NCW Life News. Stay with us.
Antique Mall at Cashmere is Trade Dollar Coins' new location. Whether you're in search for coins, currency, gold, or silver, you'll find what you're looking for. From coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, find coins rarely seen from around the world. Whether you're buying or selling or need supplies, Trade Dollar Coins is the place to be. Located in Antique Mall at Cashmere. Open 7 days a week.
Come find your holiday gifts at Antique Mall at Cashmere this holiday season. With 15,000 square feet to explore, Antique Mall at Cashmere has something for everyone, from coin enthusiasts to avid collectors. For do-it-yourselfers, this is the place to find your next repurposing project. What a great way to make your holiday gifts for someone special, using your keen eye to make something old and new again. Discover your next holiday gift in the Antique Mall at Cashmere. Stop on by today. December 2nd is the date you want to be at Antique Mall at Cashmere for their Customer Appreciation Day. Don't miss out on the fun. There will be door prizes, free gift wrapping, layaway, gift certificates available, festive refreshments, and loads of special sales throughout the 15,000 square foot mall. The Antique Mall at Cashmere has something for everyone, from the avid collector to the do-it-yourselfers and toys for the young and young at heart. At Antique Mall at Cashmere, you'll find treasures in every corner.
And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life channel.
And a happy Thursday. Well, back in November, the Wild dropped a discouraging 7-5 loss on the road to Trail. Last night, Wenatchee looking for some revenge. Our checker had the call on the Wenatchee Wild Hockey Network.
Giradossi gets it past Sasaki. Now to Jones. His shot deflected, tries to roll it out front, and they whack it in. Top of the far circle, back for the one-timer. Tip and a save made. Rebound, score. Second shot, wide back to the point, held in Sek. That save made. Rebound, backhander, score! And the Wild have sawed into that lead, cut it in half. There's a shot, score! Daniel Cholanek, what a move! Silky mitts. Curls, hits the brakes, and then backhands it across over to the left side. Shot and a score, Levi Glassman. The Wild come blasting through center with a feed for Souter. Nice move. He's in. He shoots. He scores! and then snapped back to him. Vanderbeek in. He shoots. He scores! Threw off his totals early on. Giordazzi with a shot and a score. And they get it right back. Boy, that one just spun and flung at the net. Stratton throws it off the right wing wall, rings around into the opposite corner. Dug out and dragged in front and a score! Josh Arnold. Played by Vanderbeek up top for Demon. That shot and he scores! And into the empty net fires the Murphy Stratton. Away from the play, back behind. They had pulled Marshall for the extra skater. The horn will sound, and the Wenatchee Wild will celebrate the victory here on home ice tonight, holding serve against the Trail Smoke Eaters.
So despite falling behind 2-0 in the first, as we take a look at the Les Schwab scoreboard, Wenatchee comes roaring back for the 7-4 win thanks to goals by Nathan Iannone, Daniel Schlottick, Lucas Sauter, A.J. Vanderbeek, Josh Arnold, Slava Demon, and Murphy Stratton. The Wild travel to Merritt tomorrow and Prince George on Saturday. Meanwhile, tonight is hockey night on the NCW Life channel. It all starts at 7 with the Call of the Wild and Clarkie's Corner, followed by the Wild against Salmon Arm in a game from the Town Toyota Center on November 25th. Well, the battle for first place in girls Big Nine bowling played out at Eastmont Lanes Wednesday afternoon as Wenatchee hosted Eastmont. The two teams came in undefeated on the season as it was a back-and-forth clash, with the match really being determined in the second game, coming down to each team's final bowlers, and Wenatchee's Taylor Bitterman and Eastmont's Becca Maines. I had the call along with Paul Paiva on the NCW Life channel.
She didn't wait at all. She wanted to go.
Oh,
and she
there's
got it big time.
Wow.
Taylor Bitterman trying to pick it up. She does. Nice pickup.
Still not over.
8:02
to 8:15.
Goodness. Becca Mays, second ball in the 10th.
Coming up high. She covered
look
again.
At this. What an answer.
Okay, so in order to, wow. Yeah.
Taylor Bitterman.
Eastmont just stole this game.
I think they just did. 7 pins on the board. Still the marks for Becca with the strikes. Taylor Bitterman, one more ball.
It's good.
She did not get the kiss off the wall. She got 9. Taylor Bitterman with a 132. Becca Maines, 7.
Good. Taking the win, Eastmont by 5.
Boy, that was exciting today, especially that second game.
Very close. But you know what? 2 undefeated teams in the same valley. We kind of expected that it would be a really tight match today. And the great thing is that we know in the end the trophies are going to come to our valley.
Yeah. Hey, that was quite the day for you.
I guess. Yeah, I was struggling there for a minute. I couldn't really find a tight line to bury it in the pocket for a minute, but it's okay. We all kind of got back up on our games on the second one. I don't know, it was kind of everybody was kind of down on the first game, and then everybody picked right back up on the second one. So, I mean, that's all that matters. We're a team.
On the sports calendar today in boys swimming, Eastmont hosting Wenatchee. Basketball found Soap Lake at Waterville Mansfield tonight. The girls at 6, the boys at 7:30. Finally, on the Les Schwab College basketball scoreboard from last night, Washington pulled off the upset of number 2 Kansas. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. As we told you earlier, the Federal Communications Commission, under the direction of President Trump, is set to end net neutrality. The move will have a huge effect on the way the internet works, opening the door for internet service providers to exert a large amount of control over the internet and dictate what you see on it. Dimitri Mandelis, President and CEO of Local Telecommunications, sat down with Mike Magnotti and Street Talk and Other Stuff to explain what net neutrality is and how it will affect internet users.
Net neutrality has to do with controlling the the internet for what ISPs can do with content coming in. So if somebody, so a couple years ago there was no net neutrality, and no matter what you went to on the internet, you just got there. Nobody was really blocking it much. And then when net neutrality came in, they just made it so that no ISP could block internet of any kind. They
Right.
they could charge for how much you used or how fast you went,
Right.
but that was about it.
Okay.
They really couldn't charge for the kind of content you got. So, so you couldn't charge if somebody used Netflix or used Google or used Amazon. You can only charge for just the internet usage itself.
Okay, but what? Explain to me again. I think you said it earlier. If somebody built a system that the internet could run on, anyone else could use it without having to pay for it.
That's what's really kind of driving this.
Okay.
The companies that build the internet, the cable companies, the
Right.
wireless companies, they go and they borrow money or have their own money and they build out these big networks. Okay, and what they're doing is building a network that they want to sell their own services and
Right.
products on.
Right.
But net neutrality doesn't allow them to differentiate on the traffic. So what happens is they're really building a network for themselves, but really it's being built for Netflix and all those other users who don't pay
Okay.
anything for it. So like I was saying, that they would build a network and they're going to spend $100 million to build this network out.
Right.
But their competitors are going to use it.
And net neutrality says that's okay.
Net neutrality says that's okay.
Net neutrality was adopted in 2015, and the FCC will vote whether or not to end it on December 14th. We'll be back in just a moment with the recap of some of today's stories and your complete local weather forecast right after this.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and Local Public House, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
Time now for a recap of some of our top stories. A developer who is looking to build in the Wenatchee foothills is hosting a public meeting on December 13th to answer any questions from the community. Developer Stephen Tramp is proposing an 18-home subdivision between the 1700 block of Skyline Drive and Old Butte. Tramp is also the owner of the Comfort Suites in Old Station. The community meeting will be from 6 to 7 p.m. at the Wenatchee Community Center at 504 South Chelan Avenue. Should Confluence Health be taxed by the city of Wenatchee to help pay for street maintenance? The City Council takes that up at tonight's meeting. City staff proposes that Confluence be charged either a B&O tax or a payment in lieu of property tax for that purpose. The 45 acres under hospital ownership is currently exempt from property taxes. The city is about $1 million short of the $3 million it budgets annually for street upkeep. A public hearing on the proposal is set for tonight's meeting. It starts at 5:15 at City Hall. And now time for your weather forecast for the north central Washington area. And let's get right to that satellite loop. What we're seeing out there, a high amplitude ridge of high pressure is maintaining its weather hold on the western United States with areas of fog and low clouds. We did see that, and that will spread across the region through the week and into the weekend. We may see some clearing each day in the afternoon or around sunset for some locations, but the fog and those low stratus clouds will likely roll back in each day after dark. Other weather impacts include deteriorating air quality under stagnant conditions. Once again, a stagnant air alert is in effect through this week, the weekend, and into about the middle of next week or so. We mentioned air stagnation advisories are still in place, so keep that in mind for you folks that do suffer from breathing conditions. The other impact is slippery roads from morning frost. If you are traveling, keep in mind that this will continue to be a hazard as long as we have this strong ridge and freezing fog. The upper level ridge will remain in place through at least next Thursday. Now here's a look at that forecast, and tonight overnight we will drop down to 26 degrees and talk about a persistent forecast. We will see highs right through the forecast period Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and into the middle of next week, with highs in the 33 to 34 degree range, with low temperatures dropping down to about 25 to 26 degrees. And yes, fog each day, so keep that in mind if you are traveling, especially this weekend. We leave you tonight with some inspiration for your winter plans this season. If you have a video of the day you'd like to see on NCW Life News, message us on our Facebook page at the NCW Life Channel. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. Also, make sure you tune in to NCW Life Channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz and News with Steve Hare. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
This has been NCW Life News on the NCW Life Channel. For more news, log on to ncwlife.com, like us on Facebook, and follow NCW Life Channel on Twitter.